Today I'm going to be cooking something that I'm guessing most of you have never heard of, and it's going to be Spam dogs. I'm going to be cooking them two different ways. I'm going to cook some on the Blackstone E-Series indoor electric griddle, and I'm also going to be cooking some in the oven, which is the more traditional way in case you don't have a Blackstone. I did a little Google searching and I couldn't find any reference to the Spam dogs that I'm going to be cooking today. I came up with things like corn dogs with Spam inside of them, or either the Spam weenies that I'm not sure if they're even still available. This is something that we ate when I was growing up, and I do make occasionally. And I asked my dad where this recipe came from since I couldn't find anything about it on the internet, and he told me that it came from my great-grandmother. So I'm not sure if she invented this way of using Spam or not, but if any of you have had Spam dogs the way that I'm going to prepare them today, let me know in the comments. I would really like to know. Now this is a super simple, really easy recipe. It only requires hot dog buns, Spam, cheese, and a little butter. And if these are going to be cooked in the oven instead, you'll need a little bit of aluminum foil. Okay, I've got my griddle heated up to 375 degrees, and I took the Spam and I just cubed it up, and I did the same thing with the cheese. So first I'll put some butter on the griddle. And I'll put some of my Spam down. Just going to kind of break these up a little bit so they're not touching, because I want to get the crispy coating on all sides of my Spam, or at least as much as possible. And as crazy as it sounds, you know, you're adding another layer of flavor to the Spam, because fried Spam is pretty good. Spam is not something that I want to eat every day for sure, but it is something that I do like to have occasionally. And making Spam dogs is definitely my favorite way to do it. I wouldn't necessarily say that there's any particular set cooking time to fry the Spam. It's really just however you want it. I like to do it until there's a nice crispy coating on the outside. And you can already see that some of the pieces are getting a nice coating. One of the main differences in frying the Spam before you put it on the Spam dogs and doing everything in the oven is, of course, the Spam is going to be crispier if you pre-cook it before it goes into the hot dog buns. I really need to try to get some type of overhead setup for these videos, because with the camera sitting right here in the front, working from the side is so difficult. And when I'm cooking on the Blackstone E-Series and not making videos, it goes a whole lot smoother. Okay, my Spam is just about ready. I went ahead and pulled off some of the extra that I'm not going to need for these two Spam dogs. So I'm going to put a little bit of butter here. And I'm going to go ahead and start toasting my buns. And next I'm going to add some of the cheese right here to the Spam and get it started to melt. Push that down a little bit. Alright, let me check my buns, and they're toasted enough. So I'll divide out what I have on here. Put that right on my buns. So there you have it, Spam dogs. So even if you don't have a Blackstone griddle, you can still easily make Spam dogs. So first I'm going to take my buns and just open them up a little bit. Now my butter's already softened, so I'm going to put a little butter on each of the top and the bottom. I went ahead and set the oven for 350 degrees. And next I'll just take my cubed up Spam, make sure it's kind of separated. And next I'll put my cheese on. Now the only other thing I need to do is wrap these up in aluminum foil. And really there's nothing more to it. Since I've eaten them my whole life cooked in the oven, there's absolutely nothing wrong with doing them that way too. My oven is finished preheating, so I just sat these on a pizza pan and I'm going to put them in for about 15 minutes. Alright guys, just pulled my oven made Spam dogs out and let's have a look at these. So here's a look at the Spam dogs that I cooked in the oven, and from experience I know these are pretty good, although I do believe cooking these on the griddle has a little bit of an edge to be able to crisp up that Spam. But either way, they're all going to be good. And that's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. As always, I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next video.